Hey everyone, Wanderbot here, and welcome to Path of Exile 2. It's a hack and slash action RPG slash live service. I don't want to call it an MMO, it's kind of one of those like new age live service light MMOs where you can play with other players, or you can play totally solo. But it's got a really extensive end game, or at least Path of Exile 1 did. I've heard the end game for this one's maybe a little frustrating, but I'm not here for that. I'm very much here for the story mode and the, maybe a little bit beyond that. But it came out in early access a little while ago. It's going to be free to play eventually, but right now it is the $30 buy-in while they're, still smoothing out all of the rough edges and getting the game ready for a full proper release, which I think is perfectly fine. Anyway, I guess with that, let's just log in. And part of the reason why I was slow is just because I don't generally play live service games close to launch, just in case there's... Oh, hello.
Your sentence is to be hanged from the neck until dead. Let your souls feed the first ones, and your bodies feed the land.
But yeah, ever since Diablo 3, I stay away from especially hack and slash action RPGs as they launch, because who knows what the netcode's going to look like. As far as I know, it's perfectly fine and stable now, so I don't need to worry about that at all. I guess Grinding Gear very much knows how to run their game and be ready for large quantities of people. I'm sure it's going to get bad when it gets free to play, but who knows, maybe they'll be fine. So we can play as any of these characters: Sorceress, Warrior, Ranger, Witch, Mercenary, or Monk. I was really hoping they'd have gender options on these just so I could be, like a warlock instead of a witch, but hey, whatever. I'll play Mercenary for now. He's kind of your...
Wanted in Oriath, you fled like a coward. Every life has a price, and your crossbow has kept your coin purse full. Here you are judged and found guilty. What say you?
You've got a weapon, I'll wield it. Just tell me where to point it. I've seen the highs and horrors of war, and I'll do whatever it takes to survive. If you got a coin, or if you've got coin, I'm your man. So yeah, let's just try this character and see what happens.
Quickly, stop him! Take down the degenerate!
It looks good. I like this intro so far. Okay, so we're gonna pick WASD movement, because I'm really curious about that.
I can't believe that actually worked.
Okay.
One of the first ones. You're alive. I'm glad to see another living soul. The miller went off to warn Clearfell about a strange sickness plaguing our men. I was fixing to go after him, till that bloody thing got to me first. Now, all those who drowned in the flooding, suddenly they ain't so dead no more. I would appreciate it if you could... Reach Clearfell. Find the miller.
Well, that was unexpected. Now off to find this miller bloke.
Oh, so my character has to reload. Okay, so that's going to be tricky. We have a dodge roll. I like that. That was one thing I really liked about Diablo 3 on the Switch, oddly enough, is that the control scheme felt much better than the standard click to move that was in regular Diablo 2. And I guess I've been kind of hoping modern action RPGs catch up to that a little. I want to say... No, Last Epoch didn't. Last Epoch was very much still locked to the click to move, unless you used a controller, at which point it was fine. But using WASD here, I think is going to work great for me, because that means I can kite away from enemies, and that's... I'm still slowed while I'm doing it. But still makes sense. Oh, I'm gonna have to figure out how to turn off chat. One thing I don't like about this game is it is live service, and is there a way that I can turn off chat? Okay, there we go. Figured out how to close out of global chat. I know it's a live service game, but I kind of wish it just didn't even have that as like an default option. I don't know. I guess it makes sense. You kind of want... This tab, there we go. You kind of want people to engage with your community, otherwise, like, what's the point of even making it a pseudo-MMO? But, I don't know, some part of me is just kind of like, yeah, but I'm never going to engage with this. Maybe have it as kind of like an option right from the get-go.
Not dead yet.
Oh, well. Okay, so we can... Oh, that's the Path of Exile skill tree that we know and love. So we can do either armor and evasion rating or increased projectile damage. Probably just going to go for this. Increased projectile damage, stun build up on enemies, strength and dexterity. Yeah, I'd go down this direction. What was that? 5 to any attribute. So this would let me get places much quicker. And I know we could also like loop around and get up to any of the other classes if we really wanted to. I don't think I'm going to bother. Heavy weaponry. Let's see. Unerring impact. Melee build up. Oh, but that's with melee weapons. Not knowing a whole lot about what I want to do with this build, I'm probably just going to apply points, find clear fell, that's fine. Where am I? Okay, cool. Gets me some armor. Oh, we actually are going to have to use that dodge roll. One for a dodge roll. I think the life flasks refill. They should. There we go. Let's see, where are we going? I don't know. Check every corner of the map. Though there is some question of whether or not it's even worth exploring here. We're still pretty early on, and I don't think I'm going to benefit from it too much. Okay. Skill gem, fragmentation. Oh! So we don't slot them to our character anymore, so now we have fragmentation rounds. Cost 8 mana, loads your crossbow with piercing bolts that fragment in flight. Bolts that hit a frozen enemy consume the freeze and cause an explosion of shrapnel. Alright. Bind a skill, right click. So then we can also have Q. Oh. I see, so Q is a manual reload. Looks like we can also only load one of these. Wait, checkpoint. Oh. I see, it's forcing me to do the tutorials. No, I should probably leave that up. Just in case. Where does this go? Out of curiosity. Yeah, I like the idea of them trying to go for a little bit more of like a deeper action RPG experience as opposed to the like point and click hack and slash. And so the idea of having to reload and do a little bit of ammo management in that regard actually is kind of neat. Oh, I just stay frag rounds. It's just 8 mana per shot. Yeah, sure, why not? But yeah, going for that deeper action RPG style of gameplay feels good, or at least feels potentially good. Especially because, I don't know, like I was saying, a lot of older hack and slash action RPGs, mana is low, drink a potion. They do feel a little dated in their design. And so having having the genre actually move forward again is exciting to me. Not to say that, like, it's really been that bad. It's always been about, like, fun build crafting and whatnot, but I've always wanted something that plays like, let's go with Wayfinder, if you have seen or played that game. Wayfinder or like Darksider, so something, but with the build customization of hack and slash action RPG, and I recognize that like that does not happen just because it's just too much work. You know, trying to have making a good action combat system is tough to begin with, but having it account for that level of build variety is so much harder. Because the more options you have, the more likely players are going to just break the game over their knees. And rolling does not give me a speed boost. I'm a little sad about that. I guess it makes sense, though. But yeah, so it's so much...
Oh, no.
It's so much harder to balance around. Well...
Killing time.
I wonder if you can dodge through an attack. I do kind of like the fact that I'm just a dude running around with a medieval shotgun. And yeah, the immediate boss fight against this guy actually feels much better. Not to say that, like, it felt strictly bad previously. But oh, what was his name? Whatever the first like kind of hard enemy you run into in Path of Exile, very much just felt like a big meat sponge. This one obviously meat sponge, but he actually has a pattern.
Before, but blimey.
Well done. Please come inside.
That's kind of a fun way of handling a gate. Just a big spiky log, hard to climb over, and you just roll it back up. And what I really crave is a Souls-like with this level of, like, build customization.
Well, doubt these folk will have much gold.
Renly's the name. You're skilled with the violence, if what you did out there in the riverbanks is any sign. Another refugee from the Count's justice, I take it. Well, have no fear. This place is something of a hideaway for many of us now, and we could sorely use your skills in these dark times. I'll smith for you what I can, if you're willing to bend your violence toward our defense.
Okay, so we get an uncut skill gem. Creates a skill gem level 1.
There's a beast of particular dark power stalking us out in the felling. It moves unseen under the dirt and attacks without warning. We can't leave the walls to find food, and I've been unable to corner and slay the beast myself. Now, if you could channel your violence against this devourer, as Finn calls it, we'd be indebted to you.
Okay, so we could buy or sell items. Let's see. Oh, right-click a wisdom scroll to use it. Now, does this... Can I equip this? Okay. Oh, only if you're wielding a bow. So crossbow does not count. Well, we have some other ones that are way too expensive. Oh, hey, we're actually using gold. Upgrades a normal item to a magic item with 1 modifier. I don't know how many of these things we even want to hoard. I think I'm just going to probably sell things.
I'll find some use for that.
We'll find stuff out in the field.
Till next time.
Okay.
Kindness will get you killed in times like these, old man.
Ooh, this is fun. So gem cutting, skill gem. So we can just create a gem from whatever tier. All the way up to tier 13. Interesting that it skips tiers for whatever reason. And so we can create skill gems for crossbow, sword, spear, bow, quarterstaff, dagger, elemental, occult, primal, flail, mace, and axe. That's interesting. So does that mean you could actually play around more? Obviously, scaling would be bad. But I could potentially mix and match into necromancy. I don't think it would be worth it, but maybe there's a little bit more freeform gameplay here than I thought. So we already have frag rounds. Warning, you already have this equipped. So we have frost bolts, an explosive grenade, fire blast when its fuse expires, physical damage to fire damage, explosion radius, fuse is kind of slow, otherwise this. Load your crossbow with a clip of bolts that can be fired rapidly and break enemy armor. Using the skill reloads the clip. So boosts attack speed by a bunch, reduces attack damage, but hits break 1 armor and knocks back enemies. So that, I think I'm actually going to go for that, just because that seems good. So crossbow shot. So it also looks like I might be able to level these up as well. Okay, support gem capacity, 2 strength, 2 dex, 1 int. Huh. Okay, we also have a lesser life flask, which, I mean, is just better than the one I had. I guess I should go sell it, but whatever. What does the well do? Replenish your life and flasks and whatnot.
Welcome to the Camp of the Lost, stranger. We survive. All this began the night Count Gino took his most loyal men into the Grillwood. After he returned, a madness grew in him. Something happened out there. Please, I beg of you, travel into the forest and begin your search. There must be some clue as to what took place. I fear this land's sickness will only deepen unless we do something.
Okay, so she
I've
can
collected
also
these over time.
disenchant items. Okay, so I don't know what's enchantable exactly.
Oh, I like this one.
But that's okay. So we could also ask more questions about lore,
A
which I
face
do
like
appreciate.
that almost makes me want to help for free. Almost.
Okay, we also have a
By
proclamation down
decree
here.
of the Count of Ogham, able-bodied men capable of excavation must present themselves at the manor at once. Failure to do so will constitute a crime.
You know, that voice actor actually has, sounds a little Circle Toonsy, which is amusing. Alright, let's just go out to Clearfell. Now, the one question I have that I wanted to check is we actually do have the microtransaction shop. So, I do actually have, I got the slightly more expensive pre-order. Zweihander. Yeah, weapon effects, portals. I do have the Rust King portal effect, whatever that is. Oh, wait, do I have a Kiwi? Okay, that's cute. I'm just gonna roll with that. So that's helm, gloves, boots, weapon. Wait, is there no, like, oh, armor attachment. And armor skin. I was wondering why this is the bottom. Yeah, sure, I'm gonna just dress up for today. So what else do they have? Okay, well, currently it doesn't seem like there's anything. You know what? I'm gonna turn that cloak off immediately. Okay, character effects, armor attachment. Let's just reclaim that. I don't, this is a no cape zone. But yeah, at least this way I get to look like a cool dude as opposed to scrub man. Obviously we don't get to see equipment. Ooh. How do I pull up that skills pane again? G. Oh. Oops. Don't do that. Don't drop your skills on the ground. That's embarrassing. Okay, so we want to do armor piercing rounds. You know what? That might actually be... It might just be easier for me to put both of these on, like, Q and R instead. Or Q, E, and R. So this is going to be a little bit more rapid-fiery.
Undead wretch!
But yeah, it shreds their armor. It looks like we only use the ammo when we reload. I think I'm going to go back to the shotgun shot. I think we only want to hit that when we're...
I have received reports of a number of villagers hiding at the Clearfell logging site. Travel there and convey my order to return. Anyone refusing my authority should be considered a traitor and a criminal. Deal with them as you see fit, but bring their bodies back to the manor.
I think the armor-piercing rounds are going to be better when I'm actually up against things that have armor. Hopefully that's a little bit more visible, but at least against these, like, really scrubby basic enemies, no. Just shoot them with the crossbow and call that a day. Oh, that's some mangy-look dogs. But yeah, I'm digging this so far. It looks great. It controls quite well. I'm curious about the skill variety. It is already making me want to try playing a different character, just out of sheer curiosity. Vile imp. Them's just kids, man. Okay. But yeah, being able to just shotgun enemies feels very good, and the ragdoll physics are nice. And you actually, like, really have to worry about enemies coming after you, too. Like, they're kind of zippy. And maybe there's a way that I can switch it around a little bit better. And maybe part of it is also the fact that this character is... Yeah, she's summoning them. Maybe part of it is also this character is kind of mixed between ranged and melee, and also fires really slowly. I'll have to see if there's any other shotguns that have just a little bit more quick punch to it. I think I'm just going to accept the damage for a moment. We have healing potions for a reason, and they come back quick enough. Otherwise, we might want to actually get our hands on the explosive grenade and see if I can just blast the imps when they're up close. There we go.
I'm starting to get the hang of this.
Okay, so is it T? No. I don't know what the button is. So we can do increased projectile damage, increased attack speed. Both of those are going to be kind of good. Hits against you have reduced crit damage bonus, increased armor and evasion. We might want to think about that a little bit more. See, hard to kill, life flask recovery rate, and regenerate some HP per second. So that's, I mean, that's not terrible. Increased AoE effect. Ricochet. Ooh. Projectiles have a 10% chance to chain an additional time from terrain. That's fun. I do wonder how easy it is to respec in this. I'm assuming it just costs some money. At least it's fairly obvious which is what. So that's projectile speed and damage. Green tends to be ranged and agility-based stuff. Movement speed if you killed recently, increased attack speed if you killed recently. That's kind of fun. Whereas red tends to be a little bit more on the survivability slash, like, melee. So it's not too hard to figure out what goes where. So reduced attack speed, increased projectile damage, and stun. Increased projectile damage, accuracy at close range. So this is kind of the ranger tree over here. She's got a lot of evasion stuff. Yeah, chance for flasks not to use charges. Increased recovery from flasks. Ailments. Yeah, so I could scoot over to some of these, but I don't know how much I want to. The problem is, if I really want to get into this game, I'd kind of have to actually sit down and be like, oh, yeah. Which of these do I want to pursue? Because this map is freaking huge. Is this even bigger? It feels bigger than Path of Exile 1, but I think a lot of it is just it has a bunch of these much more individual and interesting trees all over the place. Let's see. Chance to knock back enemies at close range. I just want to find one thing to pursue here while I'm here. Obviously, getting down to Ricochet is probably going to be my best. So let's just do that, and then we'll figure out what my plan is. Okay, where are we going? Big messy area.
Get out of the way!
It is kind of fun to have to line up my shots. So I'm using the maximum shotgun effect that I possibly can. Okay, right. I can also town portal whenever I want. That's going to be kind of handy long term. There we go. Watching all the wolves go down in one shot. I don't know, it feels satisfying. It feels, I mean, it feels like this for sure has kind of that nice twin stick feel that I would be looking for in like a twin stick shooter. It's definitely slower and more methodical, but I like that. I've never really enjoyed, oh, we do want to go to the Mud Burrow. I've never really enjoyed the super fast-paced top-down shooters. You know, for that,
Should have asked for more.
I can work with it in like Bullet Heavens, but I'm thinking like Enter the Gungeon is just kind of a no-go zone for me. It's just too tough. Too much like focus on speed, reflexes, and like bare minimum misses, and that's just not my thing. And so having it be slower, more methodical, and just like a more careful experience just feels good. Mud Simulacrum. That's a fun one. I'm having a little bit of visibility issues in here, but I think that's kind of to be expected. Ow. Well, I will say first impressions on this are great. A lot of like just ambush tunnel enemies. Even just the mudmen coming out of the walls is kind of neat. I know there's one right here. I'm pretty sure. Ooh. I got poisoned. You know what? We're just gonna own it. And yeah, I think let's go in my inventory. We got another skill gem. I'm gonna grab the explosive grenade. I'm gonna put that there. Okay. So for lucky, I can just fire one of these. That, yeah. I guess you can't hit the mudman. Okay, so one downside on the grenades is you very much have to plan around them. You can't just toss them out and hope that they'll explode. I bet you can build into it so they've got a much faster fuse time. If you want to go that direction. So is hatchery another level down or no?
Killing time.
Okay. I actually have to focus on my mana a little bit here. Alright, let's take a look at this. I got some trash that I do not need, which is better. Neither of these. Yeah, it's all the exact same. Suede bracers. Gloves, evasion rating, eh. Let's say Ashen Staff. Grants level 1 Firebolt. That's interesting. Toss those on for the time being. We don't need another staff. Inventory is full. Like, I could go and sell this stuff, but I guess the only one that we might want to hold on to is blue. And I could go back to Clearfell, but I don't want to. I love the fact that there is no town portal. Like, no limited town portals. Not to say that, like, it was that bad in Diablo 1 and 2, but it was just kind of a random resource cost that didn't need to be. And so having a, just being able to town portal whenever you want to is kind of nice. And I understand why you still have the Scrolls of Wisdom, that way you're not just identifying everything. I still would prefer a system kind of like, oh, what was it? Oh, the dog in Torchlight. Like, say what you want about the Torchlight series. That one specifically has always made it stay kind of special. In my opinion, you know, here's your pet. You can kind of customize them a little bit so they can cast spells or other things. However, you can also make it so that they will go back to your, you absolute turd. Let's see, I think we got the woodcutter thing, whatever it was. But yeah, you could specifically tell your, oops. You could tell your dog to take like an inventory full of items that you don't want, you know, all those random things that I just tossed on the ground that I don't want to go sell. You could just send your dog out and it would go sell them for you. And that's such a good idea. And I get why they don't want to do that in this one, maybe. No, I don't. I don't know why. Because it seems like, you know, I could send my Kiwi out with a bag full of stuff. Little dude can carry something, right? I love the fact that it is a Kiwi as a starting item. Ooh, Vile Nest. I'm assuming this is...
Bigger than I expected. Get out of the way!
Let's see if I can break this thing's armor. Okay, its armor is properly broken. I don't know if that comes back exactly. Now, can I shoot its other bits? The answer is no. Oh, and broken armor does not last. Ooh. Okay. This all hurts.
Shite! Look out!
Yeah, I think I'm gonna skip the whole idea of building around breaking armor, at least for the moment. If I can get that to last, that's one thing.
Close and personal.
But I can't. Okay. And this is why I like the WSD movement. It just feels right. Okay, he's retching. As long as I don't take the full brunt of that, it's not that bad. The duration is much shorter. Ow. That was his tail. Oh, its tail drops babies. There we go. That's some damage. I do wonder if I'd be better off just hucking bombs at the boss, too.
Shite! Look out!
Beans. Where's it coming up? There. Okay. I don't think I'm gonna stagger this sucker anytime soon. But that's okay. Okay, that hurt. Let's give them some grenades. There we go. If I can get the grenade location correct. I guess if I boosted the AoE, that'd be an option. Ow. But that's okay. Holy shit, this is just some random monster. Ow. There we go. Just some random monster
Beautiful.
in a cave. I honestly am extremely impressed. Like, I've always equated hack and slash action RPGs with kind of bland Skinner boxes. They're fun, mostly from like a incremental build crafting kind of experience. It has been a very long time since I've actually been fully engaged in one. The closest I can think of is the one time I was streaming Grim Dawn for Good Old Games. I don't actually know if that video made it to YouTube or not. But Good Old Games was doing kind of like a big like holiday sale thing. And they wanted to they were bringing on like a bunch of guest streamers to stream simultaneously, and it was, you know, it was fun. And so I was one of those guest streamers, and they're like, yeah, we'll give you any game you want, so just stream for like 2 hours. And like realistically nowadays, I'd actually probably expect payment, especially for, you know, promoting sales for a big company like Good Old Games. But, you know, at the time I was a small channel, so it was kind of easier to just be like, yeah, this is fun. Because it was. I enjoyed it a lot. But so I had like a 2-hour kind of stream segment. And I was like, yeah, I've never played Grim Dawn before. I've always wanted to. Let's turn this on the absolute highest possible difficulty setting just to see, like, how does the game feel? And the answer was very punishing on the highest difficulty setting, because, like, I think it was Veteran or something like that, but the enemies were just so much more punishing and I don't want to say problematic, but it was very easy to get kind of wrecked. Don't know why the mud simulacrum just was not present there, but whatever, it doesn't matter that much. But I remember having to, like, really be careful about my positioning and, like, kiting enemies and whatnot. And it was a very satisfying experience, but trying to play more of it got frustrating because it was very hard. You could just get one shot by something, and that felt cheap. But so far, this does not feel cheap. It's definitely punishing. Like, you cannot let things surround you. Because you will absolutely get completely wrecked if you do. Okay, do we want to just go back to town? Sure. Because there's a waypoint just outside. The problem is it does make me want to try all the other classes before I, like, invest too hard into this game. Which I think is entirely valid. Oh, that's a player. I think these are, yeah, these are all players. They just looked kind of quest-givery.
Ah, finally! Took down the Devourer, did you? Oh, that's incredible! This is the first real success we've had against the darkness. We can breathe a bit easier now, perhaps even go out and gather food. Now, this won't cover our debt to you, not nearly. But take it as thanks.
Okay, so we get an uncut support gem. This is where...
What would you like?
Let's see. So, gain mana per enemy killed. It's not bad. I technically do have enough money for it.
Deal.
Let's see, we do have a helmet mask if I want to try identifying that. And a linen belt. We got a couple of these. Only a couple, though. Ah, gotta be level 5. Also, that gets me it, which I don't need.
Good scrap.
Improves the quality of a martial item. I don't think it's really worth upgrading that thing at all. Oh, and we have a T2 skill gem as well.
Go well.
So does
Yes,
Una
I
sell
like to hold
any
on
of
to bits
these
and pieces.
amulets?
Any that catch your
And this
eye.
one does seem to have a slot in it. So you might actually be able to put skill gems in as well. Oh, and I can just buy extra scrolls of wisdom. Nice. Okay, anything else? Mudburrow, Finn, Stash, nothing. Okay. So let's take a look at a support gem. So we have Envenom. Supports any skill that hits enemies, giving it a chance to poison enemies, poison on hit. Lightning Infusion. Extra damage is lightning damage. Deal less cold and fire damage, or Pin. Support skills do not cause stun buildup. Okay. Loading as physical damage to pin enemies. So that's an option. So, Chain. Supports projectile skills and any other chills that chain, causing them to chain to additional enemies. Supported skills chain more times. Supported skills deal less damage with hits. Ouch. Though I think that gets better over time. So, more damage, no elemental damage. Scatter Shot. Extra projectiles. So 2 additional projectiles but less damage, and less attack and cast speed. Second Wind. Shorter cooldown. Or smaller area of effect. Yeah. I mean, entirely, like, just looking at this, it seems like the easiest and best thing I could possibly do would probably go for something like Envenom. Oh, but that's for my regular crossbow shot. What is Brutality? More physical damage, no chaos or elemental. Double barrel. Less reload speed, and an additional bolt. Or leverage. Increased crit chance against immobilized enemies. Eh. Let's close out of this for a second. I have this passive skill point, I might as well just spend that. G for skills. So here's the question. AoE projectile. It doesn't say how many. I want to take a look at this. Fires 10 fragments per shot. The question is, if I gave this extra projectiles, would this double the amount of fragments I fire, or does it only add 1? because I don't know. That's part of the issue. Because Envenom would make it easy. Cost multiplier goes up by a little bit, but chance to poison on hit. I don't exactly know what poison does in retrospect. Poison. Chaos damage over time, 2 seconds by default. Damage from poison bypasses energy shield. Physical and chaos damage from hits contribute to poison magnitude. Damage does not contribute to poison chance. Base magnitude of poison is per second equal to 20% of physical or chaos damage dealt by the hit that inflicted it. It seems like poison is kind of... I'm going to go for poison. But I'm going to put it on my frag rounds. And then let's take a look, because we have an Exalted Orb, we have an Uncut Skill Gem level 2. Oh, so this just levels it up. Okay, so this will upgrade my pre-existing skill gem, or could give me Permafrost Bolts level 2. Icy Bolts that fragment in flight. Damaging enemies. Small cone. Okay. So it almost seems like the real trick for frag rounds is to actually alternate between frag rounds and Permafrost. Ah. The other benefit on Permafrost, I'm going to just grab the Permafrost bolts for the time being. And swap them out for the explosive grenade. Okay. Or piercing to frag. Because I think what I want to do is effectively alternate between frag and freezing. Maybe. Ah, beans. I should have taken the waypoint back. I guess I could just walk. It doesn't take that long. But yeah, like I said, I want to play with some of the other characters. I like this character's ammo management, but I don't exactly have the... I don't want to say the wherewithal. The presence of mind to swap ammo types depending on what is necessary at the time. I feel like that's going to elude me, and I'm just going to forget about it easily. Which is fine. It doesn't necessarily need to. And who knows, maybe I just stick to the frag shots because it's got poison as well. And see if I can get freezing some other way, like a freezing trap or grenade, or... I just don't.
Not today.
But yeah, part of the reason why I wanted the poison is so I can tick things down slowly over time. So if I don't kill an enemy, hopefully it'll boost it a little further. Oh, oh, we only have 2 slots. Ouch. Didn't you have 4 slots previously? Maybe. Okay, so that's the Grellwood. But that feels like I'm leaving the area if I do. We probably do want to leave the area, but at the very least it seems reasonable to explore the whole zone once. Just in case there's lore documents, or like a surprise quest, or something else. There's something over here. Bear of the Rotten Pack. Oh yeah, this definitely gives kind of mid-boss vibes. I think I might have to just go kill her so I don't have to listen to her. Alright, there's the poison. Seems like it could probably stack some more of it too. Okay, stun her down. Just do a bunch of damage. Yeah, get up close and personal, and the shotgun is ruinous. Head of the Winter Wolf. Alright. Oh, well. I don't know if this is vengeance exactly. Probably was. Okay. Head of the Winter Wolf. Oh, it's a quest item. Grants cold resistance. Right-click to crush it. Undoing the crone's curse. So, am I supposed to? I might just leave that as is for a moment until I get a confirmation one way or another. I could also look it up. Because is it one of those that you get 10 frost resistance as long as it's in your inventory? Because that seems honestly not really that useful for me. Right. And I should be killing the hags first, considering they're summoning more. Okay. Anything else? No, we've actually cleared out most of this area. It was good.
Down!
Yeah, there was a reason to stick around. I don't know how useful or good any of the items that we got from that witch were, but like I want to see as much as I possibly can. I guess there's kind of the trade-off of like see as much as you can by here. Let's try Frost. It's got a slightly better AoE. Yeah, so Frost seems to be kind of the go-to if you want to hit a bunch of enemies simultaneously. The question is it really worth the damage? I don't think so. Luckily, I'm not really wasting anything by picking those skill gems, because we're just going to get so many over the course of a run. Obviously, I don't want to mess up and waste like a rare one. But I'm assuming we get plenty as we go along. Okay. Anything else? There's a little bit here. Maybe no enemies, though. Yeah, so let's go to the Grellwood. Yeah, I'm digging this so far. The one thing I'd say is maybe it's a little dark. But I guess that is kind of the point of the game. Some of the prettiest locations I think I've ever been to in a video game were actually in Path of Exile 1. Like going through that big city especially was just gorgeous. And then it got really dark and it felt kind of bad. Like it's got a great mood to it. I will not deny. Tense crossbow. Feels better than what I've got. Direct upgrade, direct upgrade. Which we needed pretty badly. Oh, these guys get goopy. Or at least explodey. But yeah, I'll have to play around with some other things. Definitely maybe look into some level of minion mastery. Maybe. Okay. Because I can see having like a handful of minions following me around being kind of useful. Not for this character, but like different build. Maybe I'll look into Monk and see if they can sidespec into summons. Or just play Witch. Shell gets very territorial of like the character she might potentially play. So I think I might try and get her to play this with me. I think it could actually be a lot of fun in a group. I wonder if it's got more support skills at some point, like healing and whatnot. Because I could see, especially in those bigger boss fights, having the ability to like heal a teammate or provide other like support benefits could actually be extremely useful. Or not. What is this thing? It's just a glowy plant. It's a glowy plant that hates me. That doesn't surprise me. So we have the Grim Tangle, but we're looking for evidence of the Count's activities in the Grellwood. Okay. Area is pretty big. It is interesting how much the context, how much the game kind of shifts. The regular running around and fighting enemies is very, oh, you know what? Maybe the evidence is in the Grim Tangle. But like the boss fights are actually a highlight now as opposed to, well, I don't know. I guess they've been kind of a highlight ever since, I'd argue, probably Diablo 3. I don't remember any of the boss fights really from Path of Exile, but maybe I just need to go back and play it again. But I definitely remember fighting some of the bosses in Diablo 3 and feeling like, yeah, that actually was like a legitimate boss fight, as opposed to just a giant thing that I hit a bunch and sometimes have to worry about health. Oh, they're leashing. Okay. Just kind of scoot back. I do really appreciate you don't have to worry about leveling up your skill gems anymore, at least by using them. Now it seems to just be entirely based on, oh, you got a skill gem level 3. Do you want a level 3 skill? Or do you want to get one of your pre-existing skills up to level 3? That just feels really solid to me.
One job at a time.
Mostly because it cuts down on pointless grind for no reason. Not that it was, like, probably that bad in Path of Exile, but I definitely remember being like, oh, yeah, you know, I have to grind this specific skill up to the point where it's more useful long term. And that felt odd. Even if, like, yeah, it did give you a better, maybe power scale long term, or at least a feeling of that power scale. Ow. Also, huge bonus on this WASD movement. We don't have to worry. Drop these. Let's see. Simmering medium mana flask. Refill in town. Should be fine. My explosive grenade. Eagle shard. Uncut skill gem level 2. Let's just go for frag grenade. Or frag shot. It's only a 2% damage bonus, but I'll take it. Actually, it might be more than that. There's a very real possibility I wasn't paying attention. Let's see. But I know at the very least it's a 2% damage bonus. But it might also mean I get more fragments. I guess I can check in this skill screen after I'm done with this thing. Let me check. Frag rounds. No, it seems to be about the same.
You're dead.
So nothing more to worry about there. But yeah, this feels much more streamlined, if maybe a little bit more limited. And so, like, I could see somebody, I could see some people balking against it, wanting that deeper, more streamlined experience. Or, not deeper, more streamlined experience. Deeper, more Skinner boxy experience where you're, yeah, grinding up a bunch of skill gem levels. But as somebody who doesn't engage with these games, like, super duper deeply, you know, I play them once, maybe like once a year or something like that. You know, I play through kind of the end, come up with a fun build, enjoy it, and then say like, yep, that's good enough for me, and I don't like play oodles of endgame hours. And I usually don't mess around with like leagues or any of the like big patch contents. It's just not my thing. And so, you know, the more streamlined an experience is in that regard, the better. Kind of like how Diablo 3... I still had some beefs with Diablo 3. I actually found it to be maybe a little too limited at times. But I did appreciate that you know, so much of your, like, character customization after a certain point wasn't about, like, grinding stat levels up or anything like that. And it was much more just, like, it was much more scaled on based on your equipment, and you get all sorts of like cool items and abilities within that you could kind of mix and match and switch around freely. I think it's part of the reason why I never really got too deep into Path of Exile. It was the inability to respec. I don't think you could in Diablo 2 either. But I played on Open Battle.net, so I just use a character editor if I wanted to like redo my build for whatever reason. And that felt good to me, because like I didn't care about ladder or anything like that. That wasn't what I was there for. Okay. But yeah, so I don't know. I know you could follow like other people's builds and like do your research beforehand, and you could generally get through Path of Exile fine with a bad build. It's just once you started getting to the end game stuff, it started becoming chaos. Okay, we have the hooded one here.
Well, that's ominous.
Oh, we can just summon Una.
What happened here? This shade, is it still alive? Perhaps it can give us the answers we seek. Only the Count's sword has the power to bind souls to the tree like this. We must free it somehow. To release that being from the Tree of Souls, we'll need more than simply cutting his rope. The ancient runes that imbue the Count's blade created the binding, and only ancient runes can break it. I'll wait here. The old magics will protect me.
By decree of the Count of Ogham, those condemned to hang from these branches are to be left until their hearts no longer beat, their lungs no longer fill with air, and their flesh is no longer warm. In death, you are not forgiven. Your souls will remain trapped here by this ancient moor of maligned wood, and the grove will be forever denied you. Rot here in the Grellwood for all time, and good riddance.
Damn. Ever piss a guy off so much he makes it so you cannot pass on? Okay. Kind of keep cooking my way through these enemies. What else do we have here? There's a lot going on. I think it wants me to go into Red Veil for Obelisks of Power. The question is where is the Red Veil? Please die. And one problem I am finding with this character is that I actually have a lot of trouble fighting the little enemies that are directly next to me, as half of my fleshes will just pass straight past them. Part of the reason why I wanted to invest into poison. So at the very least, there's a possibility I'd slowly cook them down. I'm just making a mess of things, aren't I? Not that the werewolves are particularly interested in giving me much quarter or patience. Oh, and these are evasive. That's why I'm having trouble killing them. Okay, skip those. Quaff up. So Grim Tangle is not where we want to go. So we also have a hut here. Well, we can go in.
Oh, I think I heard a fable about this kind of thing.
Well, pissed off the witch. Ariadne, Forgotten Witch. So, elemental sigils. A lot of screaming.
Get out of the way!
Periodic fire explosions. Fair enough. I'm very glad I cleared the rest of this area out. It's pretty easy to fight in this circumstance.
Kinda walked into that one, didn't I?
Okay, do we have anything else? Any other, like, trash in here that I can get rid of? And then for a plate, and we should probably actually do a town portal at this point. There we go. Grab the well, because I've been running on empty for a while. Una, what do you got to sell?
These are just some odds and ends of mine.
Okay, I should probably take a look at
Another
that.
for my collection. Thank you.
Helmet. Evasion rating, armor. I don't really have, like, a preference one way or another. Accuracy rating, life per enemy killed. That's actually helpful.
I will treasure
Don't need
it.
the quiver. Don't really care too much about the lacquered whelping item. Head of the Winter Wolf. I feel like I should probably figure out what to do with that first.
Bye.
I'm assuming just crush it. Oh, no, I just get the cold resistance permanently. Oh. Sick. Okay, let's go to the stash. Let's move some things over. Okay, we did get an uncut support gem from one of these. So what do we want to snag? I mean, if I want to be really silly. Cold infusion. Extra damage is cold. So I could actually just add a cold infusion to my crossbow shot, but I don't know if that's going to freeze them. Pierce. Pierce an enemy. Less damage if they've pierced an enemy. Not bad. Projectile skills and any other skills that chain. Could I make frag rounds chain? And yeah, the other question I have for frag rounds is, how much does double barrel help? Increased crit chance against immobilized enemies, but we're not doing that. I could also go for lightning infusion. Gain 25% damage is lightning damage. Less cold and fire damage, but my frag rounds just have a poison proc. So it's an option. There's also pin to stop things in the tracks, which is tempting. Every 5th use of supported attacks causes 500% more stun. Ooh. That's actually not bad as well. I think I'm going to try the lightning infusion just for funsies. Because it feels like it has potential to do a lot of damage. Okay, so where am I going? Do I want to go into the Grim Tangle? Currently, we don't have a single quest telling me to go in there. So I think I'm going to go in anyway. We'll just see what it gives me. It might just be pure bonus. Oh, routes are impassable for now.
Here. Well, not yet.
So actually, that's got to be where we go next afterwards to get out of Grellwood. We go through the Grim Tangle. That makes sense.
Not today.
Yes, let's see if this whole poison lightning thing works. It's the best bonus damage setup I could think of. Oh, so the bonus... I see how the bonus rounds would work. Moving Bramble. Oh, this is a boss fight.
Bye. Let's do this.
I can work with these. Bramblegast. Okay, can't do too much with that. That hurts, actually. Oh, and I can kill the vicious vines. Wasn't sure if that was an option for me. I'm still hitting it, right? Yes. So far, so good. There we go.
You need more than an overgrown weed to take me down.
Uncut skill gem. Is it level? It is level 2. So we could level something up. We could also look into other things. Incorrect weapon type. Yeah, that's what I figured. Required intelligence, required spirit. Current spirit 0. Yeah, okay. So, at least with this character, mixing and matching is not viable. I guess I'll boost this. Oh, hits break 1 to 2 armor. So that actually, that has potential. Because one of the reasons why I didn't want to use it earlier is because it took so long to stack up. But if it's actually much quicker, I can see that being much better. Okay. Oop. Oh.
A good mercenary knows when to cut and run. I won't end up lying in a field like this.
Rotated on me. That's fine. Okay, so what was I going to do? I don't know. I mean, at this point, I think this game has very much proven itself to be a very solid action RPG. It's, I mean, remains to be seen how well it holds up, like, super late in the game, but I'm not, like I said kind of in the beginning of this, I'm not really here for that kind of thing. And, like, the first impressions are so solid that I'm quite interested in playing more of this at a later date. I don't know if I'd, like, stream it or record the process, or if I just play it on my own as just kind of a fun thing. Oh, right, I was going to compliment. One thing I really like about the WASD movement is I don't accidentally click on the ground and walk somewhere I don't want to go. Like, I actually feel like I'm in control of my character now, as opposed to potentially careening wildly through everything. Which I appreciate greatly. I do think I will try other classes before I commit to this character as well. I think the Merc has one of the more interesting immediate flares, just because, you know, you're loading bullets and whatnot. But I think I might toy around with, like, Monk and Warrior, or maybe one of the Spellcaster ladies. It is a little odd that all the Spellcasters are women and all the melee fighters are men. Purely as the perspective of, like, I don't mind playing a female character, especially because once you throw the armor on, it doesn't matter that much. But I don't know, I like playing as gruff dudes, and it's weird if I want to play a wizard. I can't play gruff dude.
I'm looking for.
I'll break ya.
But again, doesn't matter that much. Oh, defeat the monsters. That's easy enough. Yeah, that extra 25% lightning damage is feeling very good with this. I was kind of hoping I'd be able to use it to, like, have a chain lightning effect, and maybe that's something we get access to later. What I should probably do is make 2 different loads for this guy. Or, like, 2 different attack types. One purely for...
Expected a trap.
One purely for dealing with large groups, and one for dealing with, like, single enemy groups. Or not single enemy groups, like bosses and whatnot. Let's see. Drop the crude bow. We don't need that. Stocky mitts. I think the rest of these... Ah, there we go. Okay, 2 remaining runes of power. Oh, that is part of it. Oops. Don't go blundering straight into the enemy groups. Ooh. I don't think that was my lightning. couple of blue enemies. Hey, who's causing it to go zip-zap here? Oh, one of those archers in the back is shooting a lightning bolt. Oh, I guess these guys just have it as an ability. Alright. This is not much I need to really concern myself with. Okay, a lot of checkpoints nearby. I do appreciate that it seems much more friendly. Like, it's more challenging, but it doesn't potentially waste your time. I don't even know if it's more challenging. I think it's just the idea of, like, the mobility being that much more important for, like, dodging and avoiding attacks. And so... oh god, these are horrors. Maw Demon. Venus Mantraps. Cripes. Alright, where are we going? And kind of just deeper into this. I think the one thing that hack and slash action RPGs do suffer from is a lack of level design. Maybe later once we get into like more urban areas. But running around in the forest is just running around in the woods. Like there's not a whole lot going on in here. Oh, you know what? The other issue is procedural generation versus hand-designed environments. It always kind of suffers a little bit. Grim Dawn is my favorite hack and slash action RPG, and I'm very much looking forward to the big new expansion for it. But one thing I adore about that game is the environments have all been hand designed. So even if they do have that kind of feeling of big openness, it still does feel like I'm walking through a town as opposed to just a town-shaped field. And if I'm walking through the forest, there's layers and pathways and extra bonus things to catch my attention and interact with. This doesn't have that. And it's kind of hard for me to begrudge because this is a game that is meant to be replayed often. And so you can't exactly have too much for hand-designed levels. But some part of me still kind of wishes I had a little bit of that. Or at least some more, like, interesting set pieces to kind of interact with inside these areas. I guess they do have those a little bit, like the Witch's Hut and the... I guess it's mostly just the boss arenas is where you get that the most. I do really like circle strafing around crowds, gathering them up and then just tossing fletchets straight through them.
Well, that's creepy.
Because that seems to work quite well. Guard. Probably grab the tattered robe. Let's go back. I don't actually know if I need to sell everything, but money actually seems to be a resource in this one, as opposed to not. Okay, well, I could keep going, but I think at this point we've seen more than enough to say that, like, I like this game. I think it's actually really neat, and I'm looking forward to playing more of it. Let's see, fur plate. I might be able to find a slightly better one. Physical damage and Thorn's Dance, sure.
I will treasure it.
Stocky mitts. Ooh. Physical damage to attacks, accuracy rating, max life, fire resistance, lightning resistance, and life per enemy killed. Yep, that's good. And we don't care about the robes, because this is not a robe kind of character.
Stay safe.
Alright, well, anyway. Let's just move that over. Everything else is looking good. So, I should mention that Path of Exile 2 is available now on Steam. If you do want to pick it up and play it yourselves, it is $30 now, but it will be going free to play with a extensive microtransaction system, purely for cosmetics. Oh, that's probably going to help a lot. But, what was I going to say? Yeah, it'll be free to play with a big microtransaction shop, which I think is entirely fair. It seems, oh, it's going to take a while to load. There we go. So yeah, you can get the extra armor sets, you can get stash tabs, especially for resources, which seems like you absolutely always want to get that one, and that's probably where they get the most of their money. And then also there's like the fancier versions of the, oh god, I didn't even realize that thing was freaking ugly. But when buying the game, you can actually get like a more expensive version that comes with cosmetics. So I got this one, just so I could look kind of cool and wolfy, and mostly just have a Kiwi following me around. I don't know. I guess actually all of them have Kiwis, just in different formats. I can't imagine there's any sales or specials at the moment, and that's entirely fine. Yeah, pets. Variations, suspicious rock variations. Oh boy. Yeah, stash tab, so you can have one for gems, flasks, premium stash tab. I don't know what the conversion rate is. Actually, oh, and it looks like if you buy into it now, you actually get an amount of meta currency, premium currency you can start with. I usually try not to promote too many live service games anymore, just because they do feel kind of tacky. But Path of Exile, you could be a crab person. That's funny. You could even get a crab backpack with crabby arms. Okay, that's fun. They actually did a really good job with a lot of these cosmetics, and I will probably end up buying some of them eventually. But for now, at least, I guess I might as well say, if you like this video in any way, shape, or form, that looks sick. If you like this in any way, shape, or form, leave me a like. It helps more than you know. And if you want to see more rad new games every single day, then hit subscribe, because I got tons to check out and show off. But for now, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next time.